I can hear everybody on the outside too. I hear you, 6,000 of you on the outside talking, so I heard everything you said. And we just had a sexual harassment training, so here we go. It was all good. So
We're untrainable.
no, you're not untrainable. You're good. Thank you, everybody, for coming out to another session of the House Finance Committee. We're on live, so people can see that we're fired up and ready to get the people's business done, and I think we can do that. But before we get started, the first thing I want to do is to ask the clerk to please call the roll so we can have a roll call.
Chairman Abney,
Present.
Vice Chair Slater,
Present.
Vice Chair Mazakowski,
Present.
Representative Maury,
Present.
Representative Baginski,
Present.
Representative Barrows,
Present.
Representative Diaz, Representative Edwards, Representative Hall, Representative Nadone, Representative O'Brien.
Yeah.
Okay. Representative Quattucci,
Present.
Representative Ruggiero, Representative Ruggiero, I can't hear you. You got unmute? Okay.
That's the sound.
Yeah, there you go. You're here? Representative Tabone. Here. Representative Vella Wilkinson.
Present.
We have a quorum.
Thank you very much, Clerk. We do have a quorum. We've got several items on the agenda tonight. I think we can get through them in a good time and make sure that everyone gets a chance to present their bills in an ordinary and a great way. We do have people who will be waiting on the phone lines, and what I would ask is that when we get to that part of it, that you give us your testimony, but make it as brief as possible, but succinct as possible, so that we can take that information. We also want to let you know that anytime you send in written material, it's always posted on our website. But the first thing I want to do is, tonight we have one bill that we need to vote out of committee, which means that it has already been heard before. And that is Bill 5534. And that bill authorizes Providence to issue not more than $140 million in bonds to finance the construction, renovation, improvement, alteration, repair, landscaping, furnishing, and equipping the schools and school facilities throughout the city of Providence. So when we consider a bill, that means that we send the bill then to the floor for floor debate or a vote, but we don't debate the bill in committee tonight. So could I get a motion I think I do have to get a motion to do the right? Yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
I would like to make a motion of passage of H5534.
Can you do that? You're a sponsor of the bill.
A co-sponsor.
Co-sponsor, okay. So it has been moved by Rep. Slater that Bill 5534 go to the floor. Can I get a second from Rep. Ella Wilkinson? Okay, it has been moved and second that the Bill 5534 please move to the floor for a vote. Could you call the roll, please, sir?
Chairman Abney,
Yes.
Vice Chair Slater,
Yes.
Vice Chair Mazakowski,
Yes.
Representative Maury,
Yes.
Representative Baginski,
Yes.
Representative Barrows,
Yes.
Representative Diaz, Representative Edwards, Representative Hall, Representative Nadone,
You know, to hear others speak on mute.
yes, I'm sorry. Representative O'Brien,
Yes.
Representative Quattucci,
No.
Representative Ruggiero, Representative Ruggiero, you got to unmute your mic. Frozen? Okay. Representative Tabone.
Yes.
Representative Vella Wilkinson.
Yes.
10 yes and 1 no.
Thank you very much. The bill will go to the floor for debate, if necessary, and a vote. So after the bills are considered, then we have other bills that we're going to hear tonight. And there's an order that I'm going to try and go in. If there's a representative that's here, we try and get that person to put all their bills together one time, and then that way, once they're done, they can go on their way and get other things, other business done. So the first speaker tonight will be Representative McEntee. She's here. And you have two bills, is that correct? I'm sorry.
That's correct, Chairman.
Oh, I'm sorry. What I have to do is hold all bills for further study right now. Yeah.
Right.
So can I get another motion?
Yes.
From, from
Chairman, I'd
Slater?
like to make a motion to hold all other bills for further study.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded by Rep. Slater to hold all bills for further study, and seconded by Rep. Ella Wilkinson. I guess we have to have a roll call vote on this.
Chairman Abney?
Yes.
Vice Chair Slater? Yes. Vice Chair Mazakowski?
Yes.
Representative Amore?
Yes.
Representative Baginski?
Yes.
Representative Barrows?
Yes.
Representative Diaz? Representative Edwards? Representative Hull? Representative Nadone?
Yes.
Representative O'Brien?
Yes.
Representative Quattrucci?
Yes.
Representative Ruggiero?
Yes.
Representative Tabone? Yes. Representative Ella Wilkinson?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, then what we will do now is start with Rep. McEntee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You want me to introduce the bill?
Yes, I do.
Oh.
Don't you? You have two bills, 6071.
Certainly.
And you can introduce that one first, and then I think you have another one after that.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, this is House Bill 6071 that was brought to me by General Treasurer Seth Magaziner. This act would provide for the creation of a taxpayer services division to assist taxpayers in the proper record keeping, reporting, and remitting of income tax. This is a program that we both think is great for small business. What this would allow is any business that's unsure on how to keep their records without falling behind with penalties and shortfalls could ask the Taxpayer Services Division for a free program on it's completely voluntary to assist the taxpayer in proper record keeping. And this could be done by phone, it could be done in person, and in the end, the division consultant would prepare a report of recommendations to the business owner, and all of this would be reviewed by the Department of Revenue, and the taxpayer would not be audited for 1 year following the consultation unless the taxpayer is engaging in fraudulent or egregious behavior. Treasurer Magaziner has been a champion for small business, and we recently had him in front of the Small Business Committee, of which I'm chair, and he can fill you in a lot more about this than I can, but I want to commend him on his efforts because right now, as we all know, small businesses are really suffering, and they have taken a big hit from the pandemic. So this is we're trying to reinvent the new normal for businesses to help them into the future. And I don't see this as a bill that would stop revenue necessarily for the state, although I suppose there could be an argument for it because you're not going to be able to get the 18% penalty that people tend to attract once they have an audit. I don't know if any of you have been audited, but it's quite a lengthy procedure. It usually costs money. You usually need a lawyer and a tax man. So with that, Chairman, I would like to turn it over to the Treasurer, please.
Thank you very much, and welcome, General Treasurer.
Well, thank you, Chairman. Hello from upstairs. I hope you all are doing well.
We are.
I want to start by thanking Chair McEntee for her tremendous leadership as chair of the Small Business Committee. She's off to a fast start advocating for changes that will help small businesses across Rhode Island at a time when we desperately need it. Small businesses are the heart of Rhode Island's economy and have been hit disproportionately hard by COVID-19. And it is incumbent upon all of us not only to assist small businesses in getting through this crisis, but also making sure that on a go-forward basis, we have a better environment for small businesses. This bill came really from feedback from a number of small businesses who have been through this situation. And the story that I keep hearing goes something like this, and maybe you've heard similar stories from small business owners that you know. You're a newish small business, you've been around in business for 3 or 5 or 7 years, you're doing everything right, you're paying your taxes, and then you get a random audit, let's say, which happens. And it turns out that unbeknownst to you, the entire time, you were doing something wrong. You were calculating a tax rate wrong, or you accidentally entered the wrong amount into the system 1 month, 3 or 4 years ago. You made an honest mistake. And under our system in Rhode Island, not only do you owe those back taxes, you owe 18% annual interest plus penalties. And so a small mistake, an inadvertent mistake, could end up being very costly and can be such a big hit that it can put a small business out of business. And this is something that has become very common in Rhode Island, unfortunately. These are not businesses that are trying to dodge taxes. They're not trying to do anything wrong. They don't realize that they are doing anything wrong until the day comes when they find out that they owe a huge bill, most of which is interest. And so we started looking around the country to figure out what do other states do. And the model that we found that we like the best comes from Washington State. In Washington State, the Department of Taxation, their Department of Taxation, will allow a small business to invite them to come into their business and do sort of an inspection and make sure that they're calculating everything the right way, they're doing everything the correct way, so that they can avoid getting into trouble. The state of Washington has been doing this for years. It's been successful there. It's a popular program. And the mission is very much in line with one of the missions of the Rhode Island Department of Taxation, which is to promote compliance. It's very much like if you're opening a restaurant, before you're allowed to open, the Department of Health comes in and does an inspection. They don't wait until later, years later, when it turns out you've been doing something wrong. They come in and give you an inspection up front and make sure that you're doing everything right when you launch. So it's the same concept, except in this case it would be voluntary. It would be something that the small business could choose to do. And the Department of Taxation would go and sort of let them know how to calculate everything correctly and make sure that they're doing everything the right way so that they can avoid getting into trouble in the first place. In our discussions with Washington State, they say this does not require significant staff resources. They don't do a full audit, so it's less time consuming and less work intensive than that. I will note that we are working on a sub-A with some technical changes. I know the Department of Taxation has some concerns, and we actually think that some of those concerns can be addressed easily with some of the sub-A language that we're working on. But at the end of the day, this is about making Rhode Island a more small business friendly state. It's about promoting compliance with the tax laws and making it less of a problem where people fall into trouble without realizing it accidentally. It's a very common story and I think a very simple solution. So with that, we're happy to take any questions, and I thank the committee once again. And I thank once again Chair McEntee for her leadership at the Small Business Committee and for sponsoring this legislation.
Okay, thank you very much. Are there any questions of the sponsors from the committee at this point? Yes, Rob Nardone, please.
Hey, I just want to applaud Madam Chairwoman for bringing this. This is a great bill. Back in the 90s, I was audited when I first opened up my business, and it was very nerve-wracking. Especially, I'm a tradesman. I don't know the numbers that well. The audit was brought upon me, and since I didn't have the capacity to understand the numbers, I had to pay an accountant a lot of money to get that straightened out. And this particular branch of government, shall I say, or this department they want to set up, I think it'd be very beneficial to small businesses. But the one question I want to ask is, the appropriations, would that come from the general fund, or would we be opening up a whole new department of government? Is that how that works?
I think the treasurer can answer that question.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is one of the technical changes that we're going to be making. I don't think we need to set up a whole new department. When we reach out to the state of Washington to ask them what staff resources were required for their program, it was minimal. I don't even know that they needed to add any new staff. If they did, it was 1 or 2 people for a much bigger state. So I think we're going to make some changes there. I don't think this is the launching of a whole new department. It's the offering of a new service. That being said, if the Department of Taxation feels that they need another, FTE or half an FTE to support the program, then I think they should get it. And I think that having a fiscal note from the Department of Taxation for what they think it would take would be very helpful.
And just one more thing, just so you all know, 18% interest is the highest in the country. Okay. Thank you, Chairman.
Oh, you're quite welcome. Are there any other questions from any other members on this particular
Yes.
bill at this point?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, Representative Ruggiero, I see you on the screen.
Thank you. Thank you, Chairman. And welcome, Treasurer. It's nice to see you back here in Finance. And I, too, want to commend Chairwoman McEntee for putting this forward. Treasurer, you and I launched the Bank Local program for many small businesses a few years ago, and I was chairing the Small Business Committee. And you mentioned that the Division of Taxation has maybe some concerns. Can you be more specific? I was concerned about the staffing, but you seem to think that maybe just one person would be sufficient in the Division of Taxation. What other concerns would they have besides perhaps one FTE?
Yeah, and again, I don't want to speak for the division. When we spoke with the Director of Revenue about this earlier in the year, he indicated to us at that time that he thought that the staffing needs would be minimal. But there's a new revenue director now, and so I want to be careful not to step on the new director's toes. Okay. But again, when we spoke with Washington State, their feedback to us too was that it didn't require significant staffing to do this, because again, they're not doing a full audit, it's more just kind of a checkup, right? As far as the other concerns that were raised, there were some technical things. I mean, the way the bill is drafted now, it would only provide this service for the income tax, and really it should be for all taxes, sales and so forth, not just income. I know they're submitting a letter, but as I reviewed their letter, I just saw it today, but as I reviewed it earlier today, most of it seemed to be things that were things that we would, support resolving.
Mm-hmm. And this is preliminary work prior to somebody actually being audited.
Yeah, exactly. It would be a voluntary thing. A business could call up the Department of Taxation and say, hey, could you come and check us out and make sure that we're doing everything right? And the department would come, as Chair McEntee said, either in person or on the phone, and would sort of walk them through, all right, here's how you're supposed to be doing it. Show us what you're doing. We'll let you know if you're doing it right or not. We'll memorialize it. We'll produce a written memo for you to memorialize the guidance that we've given you. And as long as you do it this way, then, you'll be fine. And, in Washington State, they make this service available to all businesses. One of the things that we've discussed is if we didn't want to go that far, we could at least make it available to businesses, say, in their first 5 or 10 years of operation, which I think would accomplish the goal, right?
Yep, absolutely.
But that's the idea.
And then the second part is we need to get rid of the onerous 18%, but that was the second bill that we heard in Finance about a week or so ago. So thank you. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Rep. Ruggiero, for your leadership in the Small Business Committee prior and for your continued leadership for small business issues as well.
Okay, thank you very much.
Chairman, if I may?
Yes.
There is a letter that was sent to you, Mr. Chairman, from Nina Savage. She makes a few recommendations that she wants us to address. So it's all, you've got it all. So I think we can work this out and possibly amend it.
Okay, that's why we're holding for further study. Okay. Any other questions on that particular bill of Rep. McEntee at this point? Okay, if not, you did have another bill you wanted to.
I
I'll close them
do.
both out. Mhm.
And this is House Bill 5696. This is an enabling legislation. It's authorizing the town of South Kingstown to issue not to exceed $85 million general obligation bonds, notes, and other evidence of indebtedness to finance the construction, renovation, improvement, alteration, repair, landscaping, furnishing, and equipping of schools and school facilities throughout the town, and all attendant expenses, including but not limited to engineering and architectural costs, provided that the authorization shall be reduced by the amount of certain grants received from the state bond proceeds from the Rhode Island Department of Education or from the Rhode Island School Building Authority. This is our attempt to bring our schools into the 21st century by upgrading our lower schools, like the elementary schools and the middle school, but the major part of this is a brand new high school, redoing a middle school to make it into a high school. And our current high school was built in the 1950s, so it's well overdue. All we want is the authority for the town to put it on the ballot on May 4th. I have a resolution from the town council that was voted on February 8th of 2021. And if you'll indulge me for a minute, it's President Abel Collins, Vice President Rory McEntee, Deborah Bergner, and Deborah Kelso, and Jessica Rose. So number 2 is my youngest son, so I have it here if anyone wants to look at it.
That's okay. A little family matters in Rhode Island. It doesn't matter. Okay.
I just think it's funny that I have a resolution from my own son. It's the first one I've gotten, so.
There you go. Okay. Any questions on that particular bill from the sponsor, please?
And it's also signed by Representative Tanzi and Representative Fogarty, so.
Okay. So if there are no further questions, then both your bills, Bill 5696 and Bill 6071, we'll close those for the hearing. Sorry. Oh, you do? 2 witnesses? I'm sorry. Yes, you do. Okay, they're on the phone, one?
Well, actually, one's on the phone, the other one's unavailable.
Okay.
Emily is on the phone.
Hello, you're on House Finance.
Hi, yes, thank you so much for hearing me tonight. I really appreciate it. My name is Emily Comiskey, and I'm the chair of the South Kingstown School Committee. I'm calling in strong support of Bill number 5696 that was introduced by Representatives McEntee, Tanzi, and Fogarty. In order to stay course and maintain the opportunity for state reimbursement, it's absolutely essential that this bond goes to referendum this spring. We're hoping for May 4th. We're looking to have our design process begin on June 1st in order to stay on track and be able to receive 15% additional reimbursement points. We have buildings that have been assessed to have $85 million of deficiencies that South Kingstown will be required to address. Furthermore, South Kingstown is really excited about the opportunity to change the way that education is delivered in order to modernize programming, which the proposed building project will support. It's very exciting to be considered for this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to fix our schools in order to ensure that our children will be competent and prepared for a successful future. So again, I am calling in strong support of passing Bill 5696.
Thank you very much for your concise testimony.
Thank you so much.
You have a great mentor
Does
with
anybody
you,
have any
McEntee.
questions or anything?
No questions. Did you have a final comment?
I just wanted to mention, Mr. Chairman, the time is of the essence on this. We have to have the approval, I believe it's by March 22nd, to the Secretary of State, to the Board of Elections. So your consideration of this matter is most appreciated.
Thank you very much. We will consider it. Okay, so that should end the hearing on bills, unless there's other testimony, Bill 6071 and Bill 5696. Thank you very much. I'm going to go to Bill 5671 by Rep. Baginski. Would you can do it either from where you are or...
This is just fine, Chairman.
Okay.
Thank you. This bill I'm submitting on the advice and suggestion of a constituent who also happens to be the director of the Cranston Public Library and on the board of the State of Rhode Island Libraries. The bill updates the statute that governs the State Library Board. It removes some language that's no longer relevant and makes some technical changes which will allow for easier communication among the state libraries going forward. When this statute was last updated in 2011, it offered special provisional funding to the Pontiac Free Library in Warwick. The bill removes that provision, but only because new programs have been created that take the place of that funding. So this provision is moot. The second significant change the bill proposes relates to extending the contract for the state library database that all the libraries share and use to communicate among each other. It simply means that instead of applying for a grant every 2 years, it could be done every 5 to save some administrative resources. It does not change the funding formula for state libraries. It's revenue neutral. That funding mechanism remains untouched. That's all.
Well, thank you very much for introducing the bill. Any questions of the sponsor on that bill, please? Okay, do we have any witnesses on the line? I don't see it on my paper. Okay, thank you. So then that will end the hearing on Bill 5671. Okay. I see we have our great friend Brett McLaughlin, who's in the audience there. You've got 2 bills up? Just one? Okay. You can. You got 2? You can do it from your seat there, or you can come to the witness table. Either one. Okay, welcome back. How are you doing?
Thank you, Chairman, members of the Finance Committee. I'm here tonight, once again, in reference to my bill is 6102. It references the Central Falls retirees. As you know, this has been a long-standing injustice that has transpired since 2011, in reference to the retirees. During the bankruptcy crisis, basically they took a shellacking. They were cut down to 45%, from 100% to 45% of their pensions. In 2013-14, they were restored back to 75%. Currently, the retirees are receiving 67% when they retire. Deduct 25% of that. Most of the pensions range from $36,000 to $12,000 to $8,000. You deduct basically 25% of that. What do you got? So ultimately, what my bill says is basically, I want to increase. I got it right here. This act would provide that effective September 1st, 2021, all Central Falls retirees covered by the Central Falls Retiree Settlement Agreement would have their pension benefit gradually increase during a 5-year period from the current base of 75% to 77.5% of their base benefit amount as of July 31st, 2011. After taking into account all applicable costs of living adjustments for their lifetimes, and this extends to their beneficiaries. Do I have any questions?
Okay, any questions to the rep on that particular bill? I think we heard this one last year. Okay, thank you. Then you can proceed to your next one.
Chairman, I apologize. I don't have the bill in front of me.
Oh, okay. Let's see. I'll find it and read it into.
Should be on a computer.
Yeah. I'll read it into the record for you.
6077.
6077. This one is the one that exempts state public safety employees from the cost to purchase credit for military service.
Oh, this is a good one, Chairman.
Okay. I trust you.
Thank you so much. What is
Is your mic? Yeah, it
No.
just went off. That's okay.
Well, the content of this bill is, we have veterans, Capitol Police, Municipal Police, Fire Department, stuff like that. They don't currently have buyback time for their service as veterans. Many of whom, some of them served in the United States, many of them served in Iraq, Afghanistan. They need to be recognized as veterans and given that opportunity to buy their time back. If they put 20 years on a fire department and they put 4 years in the military, they should be, be able to purchase that time. I don't think any municipalities offer that. State agencies that I'm aware of, unless but I think it's a good bill, and I would ask for your wholehearted support, and especially our Capitol Police here who protect us. So this is applicable to municipal, state people, firemen, first responders, and also the people that protect our colleges, college campus police. They should be eligible to buy this time back. I would ask that you would consider this bill. Bottom line is, they're going to pay for their time. What do we got to lose? All they're asking is for a buyback. So, do you have any questions?
Oh, again.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
it's Barrows.
I said, okay, Barrows. I see you. You can go ahead, please.
Thank you, Rep. McLaughlin. So I have a couple of questions. So the first one is, approximately how many folks are we talking about, and what would that fiscal impact be to the local cities and town?
Rep. Barrows. I will submit to the Finance Committee the numbers of veterans we currently have, both municipal, state, at a further time, if that's acceptable to you.
That's fine. I mean, and how about the leagues of cities and towns? Have you had any conversation with them?
Yes. Yeah, I've had, conversations with, Cumberland, and basically I've thrown it out there, but I don't think there should be any disagreement that veterans should have top priority.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
You're quite welcome. Thank you. Okay, any other questions of the sponsor on that, please? Okay, so then that should close the hearing at this point on your 6077. We have one witness, right, okay. We have. Yeah, that was a witness, but the witness is now unavailable.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, I'd like to thank you and the committee. If you have any other questions.
Any other questions of the sponsor, please?
Once again, have a great night, and you do a great job.
Thank you. Appreciate that. All right. On the retirement bills, there were several others, and I try to keep them all in the same pile. We had a bill by Chairman McNamara and by Rep. O'Brien. Rep. O'Brien, are you on it now? Are you there? If not, I can read your bills into the record. I don't think Chairman McNamara is either. Okay, so there were two bills. Rep. O'Brien's bill was 5326 and 5326. Provides public safety employees with the pension benefits of public safety employees in the municipal system. So we'll read that into record. That's 5362 by O'Brien. And Chairman McNamara was 5026. It was in the same subject matter. And that authorizes early retirement for teachers at the top of the maximum salary. Does anybody have any question on any of those two bills? The sponsors would certainly get back to you with any information that you would need for that. Okay. If not, then that takes care, I believe, the bills that we had on retirements. Any witnesses that we have for that one? Jim Sonorini is on the phone? Okay. Jim? Hi, Jim.
Hi, how you doing, Chairman? Great
Good.
to talk to you virtually.
Yeah, I know. Not too bad, but just to let us know which bills you're testifying on and whether you are pro or con in a brief manner, please.
Okay, so on the first bill, if it's okay, because I just missed my call on Rep. McLaughlin, so I'll do Rep. O'Brien's first at H5362, if that's okay, and then I'll move and just do a quick closing on Rep. McLaughlin's bill. So on the first bill, on Representative O'Brien's bill, and we're very grateful that he submitted this legislation for House 5362, is dating all the way back to the pension changes in 2011. There were certain revisions that made and changes made through the settlement agreements that made the pension changes less onerous for police and fire, and also the correctional officers. The police and fire pensions largely are contained in the Municipal Employees Retirement System, otherwise known as MERS, and the correctional officers are actually in their own segregated pension system that, while it's still invested with the state, has its own rules and peculiarities. What happened was back in 2011 is Council 94, which represents several types of professional law enforcement individuals, had advocated that our state employees should receive the same or equal treatment and parity to municipal police and fire. Unfortunately, those arguments were ignored, and our public safety professionals were lumped in with all of the other changes. And of course, we fought a lot of those other changes as well, but they were not granted any consideration, and consequently, many of our law enforcement professionals who are fully sworn, trained law enforcement professionals now have to work until the minimum retirement age of 67. Many of the people we represent, such as deputy sheriffs, Capitol Police, environmental police, and airport firefighters, all have very, very high standards and very dangerous jobs. And their injuries are consummate to their type of public safety work. And I also forgot to mention juvenile program workers who guard very dangerous individuals who generally are sentenced to the Rhode Island Training School. So, for example, our airport firefighters, unlike municipal firefighters, are subject to the Air National Guard's physical requirements, and every year they have an agility test where they have to drag a 250-pound dummy at least 50 yards and run a timed mile and a half every year to retain their employment. Our other law enforcement groups, such as the environmental police, regularly confront individuals who are actively hunting and carrying firearms on a daily basis. Again, our jobs are often subject to the same training or sometimes enhanced training that other individuals receive. So what this bill would do in a nutshell is, if enacted, it would freeze all of their current pension accruals and stop their contributions going into the defined the defined contribution plan, which is the 401A, 401K style plan. It would freeze all of that, and it would then say from point going forward, they would receive all of the same benefits for basically for retirement age and other benefits such as disability, and to have the exact same benefits as municipal police and fire. Now, when we originally had introduced this bill, we actually had requested an actuarial study, and back then, for 380 people, the estimated cost was somewhere around $1.3 million. So roughly $3,421 per person for 1 year. That was on a 19-year amortization schedule. Unfortunately, as you know, well, not unfortunately, but every actuarial study that must accompany a pension piece of legislation has to be requested by the House Finance Chairman, Senate Finance Chairman, with the approval of the respective Speaker and or Senate President. When Governor Raimondo's administration found out that an actuarial study was being run, they objected vociferously, and consequently, while I know the numbers that were contained in that study, I was not able to use the study publicly. That being said, I would ask for some consideration of this legislation. Michael Downey, the President of Council 94, has made a constant commitment that we would keep fighting to remedy the injustice that's been facing our public safety professionals. We'll keep doing. We hope that this year it will gain favorable consideration. Additionally, I would request that if we can anyway get a actuarial study on this language, we would greatly appreciate that, so that we may finally be able to make some progress on this issue. And just in reference to Rep. McLaughlin's legislation, we also support that bill. That bill actually encompasses many of our public safety professionals who would be able to purchase with no interest service for their pension credits for their time in active duty and as a veteran. We think that's also excellent legislation. I'd be happy to answer any and all questions to the best of my ability.
Thanks so much for your testimony. Are there any questions of the witness from any of the three bills that he talked about? Okay, if not, thank you very much. We appreciate your testimony, sir.
Thank you, Chairman.
Okay, so we're going to, just for your sake, we're going to go to Rep. Lombardi has been waiting, so has everyone, and Rep. Casimiro. So Rep. Lombardi, I know he's on the line now. He can go up next, and right after him, Rep. Casimiro will get you.
Thank you, Chairman, members of the committee. I'll try and be do this as quickly as possible. Bill 5802 is an act that would cap the annual percentage rate for payday loans to 28%, require maturity date of more than 90 days from loan closing, prohibit fees and interest payments of more than 60% of the principal loan amount, and finally require that payments be made monthly, with each payment being no more than 25% of the loan's original principal. This is a predatory loan, Mr. Chairman, and primarily utilized in the less affluent areas, affecting many of the people in the minority community, or people that are, are borderline, just teetering, just about making it with food on the table, roof over their head. And what this is excessive interest rates, as much as over 200%. Even with credit cards, if you agree to 20, 22%, 19%, and you miss the payment, it goes to somewhere a little over 30. I can tell you this here, in the less affluent neighborhoods, when individuals do these kinds of acts, they end up doing 10 to 20 years in prison. And there's a word for that, but I'll leave it. I know this is a G-rated audience, so we'll keep it like that. So that's what this does. At least that no one be being a predator to those that are most in need. Someone needs $200 to keep a roof over their head, or feed their children. put gas in their car so they can go to work, working 3 jobs without benefits. So that's primarily what this does, Mr. Chairman, and I will endeavor to answer questions if I'm able to. And thank you for your consideration and your time in this.
Thank you very much. You've been working on that for quite a while, and keep up the good work, please. Are there any questions of the sponsor?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I don't have any question for the rep, but I do want to commend him for doing this. And I think myself and he and a number of other folks have been fighting for this for a while. So thank you, Rep, for doing this.
My pleasure. I'm honored and privileged. Well, guys like yourself, the chairman, and the other ladies and gentlemen on the committee, let's send the right message to the state that we will not let our people become victims of predators.
Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your time.
I think we have we're 2 witnesses for this one, right? Cheryl Quattromi and William Stoudemire. But Cheryl, are you on first?
I am.
I think. Haven't you testified before with us?
No.
No,
I have not.
Okay, great. Well, good. We're ready for your brief comments, please.
No.
Well, good. We're ready for your brief comments, please. You know what, Cheryl? If you would please turn your radio or television down or off because we're getting a feedback.
Okay, just all set.
Okay, you may proceed, please.
Okay. I actually am a center sales manager for Advance America. I've had the experience of being a customer of Advance America and now a sales manager within the company. I am a mother of 10 children who work multiple jobs at a time to keep my family going. There was a few times that financial situations arise, and I was so thankful that Advance America Services was there to help me during that time. As a center sales manager, we are in the business to put smiles on people's faces, and our customers truly appreciate our services and depend on our financial help to get them through tough times, feeding their children, paying utility bills, unexpected car repairs, or medical bills. That's what keeps people up at night. Our employees are very empathetic and offer ways that our customers can decrease the loan amount or pay the loan off in a shorter period of time. Advance America employees have listened and helped many people who appreciate paying only $10 per 100 and have said they don't know where they would be without our services here at Advance America. As an employee of Advance America, I continue to take pride in helping people rest easier and love hearing how Advance America has helped them cope with life's unexpected expenses.
Thank you very much for your comments. Okay, the next is Bill on the line. Mr. William Stoudemire. Bill?
Hello?
Yes, Mr. Stoudemire, you're on the line, sir.
Okay, thank you.
You can proceed.
Okay, can I start talking? Or is someone else
yes, you
talking?
can. Yeah. Do you have your television on?
I have it on the web channel.
Okay. We just need you to make sure the volume is turned down so you won't hear us repeating ourselves. Okay. When you do that, you're ready. Ready for your brief comments, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and appreciate the opportunity to speak about the payday lending, which everybody looks at the wrong way. First of all, let's replace the rhetoric with reality. Many people do not understand what an APR is. An APR is an annual percentage rate. And payday lending is a 2-week period. And what happens is, over time, if you were buying a mortgage or something like that, you are getting into an annual percentage rate. If someone asked you if they could borrow $100, and you said, yeah, and they'll give it back to you tomorrow, and you tell them, give me back $100 plus $1, well, you just charge them 365% APR, the way people think about that. It's a short-term loan. Nobody takes out a payday loan for a year. It is a 2-week period unless the borrower stacks loans with different companies. These are the facts. A global strategy group and the Torrance Group polled 1,000 payday loan borrowers. 96% of the borrowers said they completely understood before they took out the loan how long it would take to pay it off and the finance charges involved. 72% said they received better treatment from a payday lender than from a bank or credit card company. 75% said they were likely to recommend the payday loans to friends and family. Payday loan complaints at the CFPB and their last survey was 2,300, 0.7% of about 400,000 complaints. The whole fact of it is it's an alternatives that there are to payday lending is the capital good fund. There's banks, credit unions. Why don't people go there? Why don't the borrowers use them? If they did, then there'd be the competition, and perhaps the payday loan companies would close. Okay, the people in Rhode Island that operate a